Ladies, I know you want that man with six figures, a six pack, and 6 feet, but can you contain that? That's the question I have. Can you contain that? And I get it. I understand. Everybody has preferences and desires and standards. However, I want you to think about this. Who set this standard? Who made you think that this was a thing? This whole six pack, six figure, 6 feet. Where did all this come from? Not only that, but is it realistic for you? And are you meeting the same or at least close to the same criteria that's being demanded? All right. With all of this external demand, are you passing up a good man? A man with good character? A man who will love and accept you? A man who can work with his hands? A man who can make things happen? A man who will care for you right where you are? When my husband and I met, and this was over 20 years ago, 21 years, we were both previously divorced. We basically started from scratch together. My husband was not balling out of control, and I definitely was not. So we were quite a pair. The thing is, we had core values that were aligned. My husband was a gentleman. He was thoughtful. He was considerate. Like I said, he was previously married. He had children. He had a strong work ethic. All right. I was easygoing. I was not demanding. I was previously married. I had children from my marriage. I was not out here looking for a soft life. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be cared for. And I did not mind the fact that we had to build something together. And as I said, we started from scratch and we were not young people. All right. Now, granted, my husband is 6'2.5", but I'm 5'7". Some of y'all 5'2", and you out here talking about I want a 6'2" man. But why? If you're 5'2", what's wrong with the 5'8" man who can love you and work with his hands? Just think, he's 6'2", you 5'2". He's got to bend way down to kiss you, bend way down to dance. Poor guy, he's going to have problems with his back. All right, let me get back. One of the things I appreciated about my husband was the fact that he could fix things. He could build things, and he wanted to fix things, and he wanted to build. He was not a person who would just throw stuff away because it didn't work. He always wanted to fix it. I tell my children all the time, in most cases, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And because my husband wanted to build and he wanted to fix and not throw things away, that transferred over to our marriage. So even when things were hard and tight and rough, he was like, we can fix it. We can keep building. He wasn't, let's get out of this. I already did this before. Those core values aligned in other areas. All right. Ladies, we need to examine our value, where we place our value. All right. And I mean our own personal value and what we find value in, and stop focusing on these external things. All right. Some of you have missed out on good men because you put your value on the wrong thing. We should be looking at a man's character. Is he honorable? Do we even know what that entails anymore? Or are we just looking at bank accounts and portfolios? And I'm not hating on money, but I'm saying let's have more balance and stop being so one-sided. And this is where I come in. I'm Verlyn, your favorite pre-marriage coach and auntie you didn't know you needed. And welcome back to Before You Do with Verlyn podcast, where my goal is to help support 1 million women in being and staying happily married. Ladies, we need to ask the right questions. Are we asking about goals, commitment, again, core values, family values, work ethics, community ethics in terms of accountability? What about spiritual practices? Because it is the intrinsic value, the inner value of a man that we have to consider. If I had focused on my husband's bank account 21 years ago, I promise you I would have missed out on a great man. On a great man who loves me, he takes care of me. He's always taking care of our children. And I'm not saying he's perfect. You don't have to be perfect to be great. We're all flawed. When we started out, we were in a little apartment and we were struggling for a minute, trying to work out cars and bills and babies and all of that. But fast forward, because we had vision, we had insight, because our core values were aligned, we built a life together. And now we have a beautiful home with over 11 acres and beautiful trees surround us. Way back in the day, we used to sit and talk about how we wanted a home nestled in the trees. We used to drive around in neighborhoods and say, yeah, a house like that. We like that. Look at all the trees. You can't even see the house. We didn't start out that way, but now we have it. And it was built over time. It was built together. We have a small farm. We grow our own food. And I can go on and on about all the things that we built together. Even though we were both divorced, we both had children. We both didn't have a lot that we were bringing to the table that everybody likes to talk about. What do we bring to the table? Vision, core values, genuine care, respect for each other. And I'm not bragging. I'm sharing this because if I did it, you can do it. I'm sharing this because what can be done matters when you have your values aligned. And it doesn't matter if he's 6 feet with a six pack or six figures. Please reevaluate what it is you really want. And most important, leave all the rhetoric behind, or you may find yourself demanding what you're not meeting and ultimately alone. Are you meeting the standard you're wanting? Are you fit? Are you balling out of control? Are you tall? Don't hurt the man's back again because you 5'1" and you want somebody 6'7". I mean, come on. If you're out of shape and you're not taking care of yourself and you want a man who's in shape and he's taking care of himself, you're setting that man up. If you're going to be sick in the future and then he has to take care of you, his quality of life is lowered as well as yours. And I'm not saying that you should not stick with it when people are sick. However, you set yourself up for the best case scenario possible. In all fairness, what are you doing? How are you taking care of yourself? All right? You're demanding somebody to have 6 figures and you've never managed 6 figures. You haven't managed your money. Maybe you haven't had much money. So what does that look like? You can possibly mismanage his money. All of these things count, all right? And that's why I say we need to be realistic. You need to think about what it is that you can contain right where you are. That's what you need to work with and build with. I am not saying you should not have standards and that you should be looking for broke men and short men and anything like that. I've never dated a fat man, right? That's a personal thing for me. I'm not saying you should not, but I never said, boy, he's got to have a 6-pack either. So I do believe in standards. What I'm saying is don't reject a good man that you can build with because of superficial qualities. That's what I'm saying, not the same. I promise you that there are a lot of good men out there that don't make 6 figures. There are a lot of good men out there that don't have 6-packs. And there's some good men out there that are not 6 feet tall. Don't miss out on them. Be realistic. Think about what it is that you can contain and work on yourself to become what it is you want. If you want somebody with a whole lot of money, get a whole lot of money. Or rather, start with the money you have and manage that properly. And then get more money. And then build. If you want somebody that has the 6-pack, hey, start doing what you need to do. Get in shape. Work out. Again, don't demand something that you yourself are not willing to meet. It's only fair. And that makes a lot of sense, or it should make sense. If you want a man with a good work ethic, you should have a great work ethic. These are not far-fetched ideas that don't make any sense. We have to adjust, not just for ourselves, but for the times that we are in. And sometimes readjusting is not so easy. Readjusting a standard is not the same as lowering. And I think that's what happens. We're saying, oh, I'm not going to lower my standard. I am saying readjust it. I'm not saying lower your standard. I'm saying look at the times and consider what we're working with and readjust that standard. Because I promise you, if a man has vision and if you see he has a strong work ethic and your core values align, you can work with him. Even if he's a little thick or heavy, you can go to the gym. You can always lose weight, but you don't want to get someone who has lost character. That's not the kind of building I'm talking about. You can build up money. You can build up a portfolio. You can't build a man's character. He has to come with that. The same with you. All right? Thank you for joining the conversation. Make sure you visit my website, verlyntarlton.com. That's VerlynTarlton.com. If you didn't subscribe, make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button and please share with 3 or 4 people or 3 or 4 of your friends. That will be greatly appreciated. In the meantime, may you experience extraordinary love. Bye for now.